now that we've gotten our drawing onto our canvas using the edit mode on our cell phone, if you saw my last video, now we're going to paint it. Really quickly, I just wanted to show you my favorite brushes I get at the local craft store. It might not be what you think. I like these Royal Langnickel, like mini 3/0 round. I'll just use these barely for like highlights and crazy shadows, sometimes for outlines. And then I love these crafting filberts. Notice the price on these. Hello. So even at my local Ben Franklin, these are not in the brush section. You have to go over to the crafting section. They hide them over there. Okay, they don't last as many, maybe as many paintings as like a $10 filbert would, but these are fun to paint with. I could probably do 10 paintings with them. I'm going to do this whole painting with this $4 000 and this $5 filbert set. Okay, I also have this little round here I got in a pack at the dollar store, which means it was a fraction of a dollar. So that's here too. I always know the dollar store ones, they don't have any names on them. Anyway, I can make it work with almost anything. So let's get these brushes going. Ooh, brand new brushes. Ooh, very cool. Okay, filbert is this rounded edge. I do most of my painting with filberts. They hold a lot of paint. More than the other brushes. I can't explain it. They're my favies. Okay, so step one for me here. I want to do the background. I want to get all this brown in here. I'm not really worrying too much right now about the little details. I just want to get maybe that this is a darker color than this. Like nothing big, okay? Let's just keep it fun and chill. If you add white, it's called a tint. So we're going to make a tint of this burnt umber Nova Color acrylic. I'm just eyeballing it here, but it kind of looks like this background color is burnt umber mixed with white. I'm going to take a wild guess and go for it. And I'm going to use the biggest filbert I have for the background so that I'm the least capable of making fine details. Does that make sense? Like, so I want to go as blurry as possible. Just kind of get the ideas in there. And let's make a color. We're going to tint. This is a hue. It's so funny because I'm just learning kind of the words, you know, the art words. And it's just, I'm like, oh, that's a hue. So I'm going to put a little dot of white there. Another one down here. Maybe another one down here. You'll see why later. Because I start going crazy on the palette. What I'm going to try to do is just eyeball match this color here. I'm going to zoom in on my phone. Let's see if I can zoom in so that you can kind of see that I'm trying to make... It's clear when you zoom in. This is a lighter version of this color. Boop. So let's do the darkest one first. Brand new brush. Get some water in it. I always do a wet brush unless I'm dry brushing. Boom, boom. If you actually went to art school, this next part might make you cringe because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just mixing colors on my palette. I've never really used a palette till the last couple months. I've literally painted for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, since I was little, without a palette. I've just been working right out of the tubs. Sometimes I use the little plastic palettes, but I never used them for mixing, just holding color. Hey, look at that. What? It's pretty close. You seeing that? Family. It's in the family. Okay, so a little bit more brown. And it looks like I accidentally made my lightest tone first. That's actually kind of cool. Let's try to make that darker one. Over here. I mean, for not knowing what I'm doing. And I'm just eyeballing. I guess I'm good at eyeballing. I've never really tried this photo reference realism stuff. And I'm not going for realism. Don't quote me on that. I got my burnt umber mixed with white. That's called a tint when you mix it with white. Just saying it a couple times so you learn something today. Okay? You can resist all those like classic art words, but once you know what they all mean, you're like, aha! Okay, so just obviously resist normalcy, but accept tips from about art. You can always like, you can always be like, I'll never do that again. Looks pretty close to that color, but I wanted to err on the side of darker. To make it a little bit wetter, I'm going to add some matte medium. Using the largest filbert I have, we're going to block in this background without having too many emotional feelings about it. This is called negative painting. I say it all the time. Once I learned it, I got obsessed, and now it's all I care about. It means you paint around the thing to bring it out instead of painting the thing to bring it out. And it's actually really fun. And it kind of takes you away from building something. It's almost like you're supporting something. Okay, I'm going to just get these marks in here that feel good. Look how smooth the paint is with that matte medium. If I want, I can add a little water. Ooh, see that? It went smooth. If I want, I can add, where is it? Flow. This is Liquitex Flow mixed with water. I call it Water Plus. It makes your paint spread through the water more consistently, I guess, is the only way I know how to explain it. Pretty cool stuff. And it makes the paint really wet. So, okay, I'm just kind of looking at the painting and trying to figure out which of my lines I liked the most in my sketch. I don't really care. I can fix this even after. I can change where the flowers are, take one away, and then put it back. So even right now, I could paint the whole thing brown and fully bring the flowers back. So you don't have to worry about hitting them or going across them. But if you stay on the outside of the lines, you'll have this super satisfying reveal that comes out. Just put a little bit of dark over here. Just need to get some paint on here. Okay, and I'm just doing this classic thing I do that some people like to call hash marks. Hilarious. And I call it basket weaving because I feel like hash marks you do like once or twice, but this, like, the concept of this basket weaving style is that you can do like hundreds of layers, and transparent ones, and opaque ones. Anyway, just trying to give you worthwhile information while I paint, because I want you to see the reveal. Notice whenever I make an outline around something, I go back and try to pull the outline away. And to me, it makes it cease to be an outline. It makes it cease to have that hard edge. And it's really cool. There's a lot of things I could do. I could keep adding this dark color back in every once in a while. Look at that. Pretty. Like this whole thing I'm doing right now, I consider the background, underpainting, first layer. So for me, my personal aesthetic is as messy as possible will make me the happiest. So I'm just trying to cover this in brown, this color brown, and then come around here with the lighter brown. So that's my goal. This entire right here, right now, is outline all the flowers, aka negative paint. Paint around the flower to bring the flower out. Okay. And the faster you go on the first layer, the faster you get to the fun layers. Just kidding, this layer is fun too. I'm putting it's not actually a lighter paint color. Right now this is just more transparent. So, let's get more paint in there. And notice I'm still basket weaving a little bit to give it some personality. Get it in there. I guess I can't deal with just plain smooth backgrounds. And I like just the personality. You can still see one of the grid lines in there. I personally don't care at all. I like when people can see the art. Sometimes the sketches are way better than the painting. Might as well let him show through. All right. This is getting actually very interesting. I like it. I'm doing this whole thing with you because I gave you the image so that you can draw it, and now you have the image so you can try to paint it. I normally don't ever tell people what to paint because I think you should figure out what you want to paint. But I don't know if flowers are my life's calling, so it's fun to paint something I'm not comfortable with or used to doing. Just trying to get these colors smashed into this canvas. I got mega budget canvases, you know, the bulk ones you can get in like 8 packs at the not the dollar store, at Ben Franklin. For no other reason but because I couldn't afford the better ones. Ooh, reality. Okay, so now I am working my way from the darker color that was up here. Come here. Just trying to make this. This is definitely the darker side, so it should have, you know, some darker vibes. Oh, that's good. That is good. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to put a little bit more flow in that paint. Look, watch. Here it is. See it dragging? Did you see the drag? Ooh, way too much. Classic. Way too much flow over here because it's like water, so it'll make it real wet. But watch this. Did you see the drag? Watch this drag. Hello. Now it has flow on it. Do you see why people would add flow to their paint? See that? Just going to mix a little carbon black with this burnt umber. Just want it to be dark, but not exactly black. And, okay, there's my first little attempt at the shadow, getting it in the spot. And remember, I can always come back with this lighter brown and cover this back up, make it smaller, thinner, thicker. You can just keep changing stuff. That's what people don't realize about art. It's not like a delete on a computer, but you can absolutely go white over black and black over white, and I'm telling you, you can just keep adding layers to the point where it doesn't matter. If this little part right here is too big, I can make it smaller by carving the sides in harder, or I can make it bigger by simply going over the sides bigger. Cool. All right, there's a little bit of this color in the center of the flowers, but why does it look like a little bit more red? See, that's why you use your phone. You can't do that with a printout. This is like, looking at this now, this is almost like a quinacridone violet. Look at that. I mean, it's almost like, hello, that's my color. That's why I encourage you to use your phone. And you're saving the planet. You're saving the planet. That was one less printout that happened. One less ink cartridge that was made. One less tree that had to make a piece of paper. Okay, so I'm just gonna breathe and hope this is close enough. I'm gonna go with the fact that I can fix it. I can fix it if I mess it up. And good and bad is always in the eye of the beholder. Don't ever take anyone else's opinion of what good or bad is into consideration ever the rest of your life, okay? You're free of that. You're welcome. If you care if other people like your art, it is not going to come out as your truest voice. Okay, they're changing it. So don't let them change it. Just make what you want to make and put your voice into the world of art. The market is not flooded. There's room for you. There's room for everyone. There's room for everyone. And I'll tell you why I know this. I know Spotify is an evil company, but listen. My Spotify Wrapped came back, and it was like, you've listened to 3,900 artists this year, right? And so I was like, dang. So for every year that I live, 3,900 people have to make music every year just to fill my singular person's needs, okay? So just think about this math I'm telling you about here right now. Every time you think, oh, there's not room for me in the art market, it's like, no, dude, I consume like 3,000 images of art a day. I need 3,000 artists a day making art to fill my basic needs. And so just keep doing it. Keep doing your unique thing. I'm no longer looking at the grid. I'm just eyeballing and I'm hoping for the best. This color's a little too dark. How cool does this look already with this just drawing and this like aha video, MTV video vibe with the outline? So tell me in the comments if you're painting along or if you just like watching people make art. Just trying to make these look kind of like what I'm seeing here in the middle of these tulips. Is it time to finally go in on the red? I think it is. I think it's time for the red. Right, I'm going to start on the red. I can zoom in on my phone. You can kind of see it, right? Just barely. I've decided in my mind that this is cadmium and this is quinacridone. You can't really see this on a phone. Let's come on. Okay. All I'm doing is trying to get some color in here without being super obsessed. And I often like to draw like the petals out just to give it some motion, some movements. Always go way over the edge when you're painting unless you know you're going to frame it. Okay, let's do the dark red on the, this flower. All I'm doing is looking over at my painting and going, where's this darker red? And I'm just putting it there. I'm not trying to see a flower. I'm not trying to see anything other than the shape of that red and what the heck is it doing and how can I copy it or get close. Because I find with this like looking at it type photo reference type painting, if you just kind of get it close and nobody ever sees the reference photo, it's awesome. But if you ever let them see the reference photo, then people do really care about likeness. A lot more than I do. All I'm doing is leaving a little white space for what I see as like the curling petals coming over. And I'm never worried if I go way over. I'm going to go all over this with cadmium red. And cadmium red is even less transparent than this quinacridone red. So when I go to paint that lighter color over it, I can really go over the edges of this color and it'll be covered. You'll get to, if you just mess with paint a lot, you'll figure out the colors do to each other. I say that all the time, that you should be more focused on learning what the paint does before you're worried about what the heck you paint. What am I going to paint that's going to make me super famous? And everyone's going to know that it's me when they look at it. Yeah, that makes art come out bad, so don't do that. It's what makes your heart and soul light up to the point where when you get the idea, you frantically follow it to the very end. It's called curiosity, and you need to get it and keep it the rest of your life. Just filling in the blanks, because I already did the dark, so I know the rest is supposedly light. And I can always bring it back and go back with the dark. All I'm trying to do is get a tiny little bit of these flowers nuance so that I make a real attempt. I haven't even looked and thought this was a flower for a couple minutes. This makes me kind of nervous. I'm just having fun painting. Whee! The center might not be exact on this one. I can always fix it. All I'm doing is repeating myself so that you feel reassured that you should just go for it. And if you mess it up, you can fix it. You'll learn more fixing it than you did from doing anything else the entire day. Isn't that ironic? All I'm trying to do is just get some color blocks in here. All right, I'm going to switch to the dark green and then fill all that in and then we'll talk again. All right, stay with me here. I'm going to start with the darker yellow and then highlight with the lighter. Just want these little tiny flowers to be in here. Just trying to make it look like a little puff ball. There we go. And then I notice on the inside of the flowers, whoop, right on the inside here, we got yellow. So let's get some in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get some yellow in there. Just kind of smoosh it around. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just kind of needs to cover the edge of this red. Oh wow, this is really starting to look like a tulip now. Kinda. Either way, I like the colors. And I don't want it to be perfect lines, so I'm smooshing. I am moving my brush back and forth and just trying to create flower vibes here. I'm just trying to cover the red and that dark color in there. And then try to get some of these little jagged shapes here. And the yellow that I'm seeing just doesn't have to match perfectly. Just trying to get some shapes in there. And it'd be cool if it kind of matches. Then I won't have so much stuff to fix or change. I'm noticing here the shadow of this yellow was kind of like orange, so I think I'm just gonna take an orange. Why bother mixing? Oh, it just makes it look like it has a shadow. It doesn't even look like orange to me. This one here. Oh yay, Alex is home. Oh, I can't wait to show him the flower. What do you think? Starting to look kind of cool.